deep is your loyalty to the ones that you love? My apologies, first of all, for being a little bit late tonight, but I had a few things that I needed to deal with. Just a few things that I had needed to deal with. But now that I have you here and I have your attention, there's a question that I want to ask you, right? And if you guys haven't already read the title of this stream, what is this, the sixth, maybe the seventh episode of Life is But a Stream? If you haven't already seen it, the question that I have for you guys is, how deep is your loyalty to the ones that you love? You know what's crazy? Oftentimes, like I see it so often, where people tend to, have the best interest and tend to love others, and they get taken advantage of, right? And they go to bat for people who would just simply just don't care about them, right? It's not that they just wouldn't go to bat for them, but they just simply just do not care about them. Hey man, puppy sleeping. I need this podcast tonight. My guy, DJ Scoot, big up yourself, man. Thank you so much for always just tuning in and tapping in, bro. Life is but a stream. Life is but a dream. I mean, it's kind of really just a play on, that whole concept. But yeah, man, things happen in life, man. Things do happen in life. And sometimes you go through certain situations and, you give your best, right? You give the best that you have, all of the best intangibles and tangibles that you have, you give to this person or these people. But they seem to not want to reciprocate that action, right? Or that gesture. Now, oftentimes when people are in situations like that and they make it out of situations like that, they tend to go into a state of depression, or they tend to he says my ex for real. Man, I'm only speaking from experience, you know what I mean? But you tend to go into a state of depression, into a state of, feeling sorry for yourself, into a state of just loneliness, right? And just being upset, being mad at the world because you chose the wrong person. Hello, Asia. How you doing tonight? Right? But you just chose the wrong person. It's not a matter of, you know, loyalty doesn't exist. It's not a matter of, oh, I'm just in this by myself. No, you just chose the wrong person, right? And the things that you were looking at, the things that you were focused on, right, were mainly just the physical. You didn't know whether or not you liked the person. You didn't care whether or not you liked the person. Sabkar, big up yourself. Thank you for joining us. But you didn't care whether or not you liked the person or not. But you liked how the person appeared on the outside. And oftentimes what we do is we fill in the blank, right? We fill in the blank ourselves. We look at the person and we think to ourselves, yeah, that's the person I want to be with, without knowing anything about this person, right? That's how come a lot of times we're able to get tricked, right? Because we're so third dimensional, we're so focused on the physical and how the person appears on the outside, right? That we're not looking beyond that and looking at the intangibles, paying more attention, observing the intangibles, right? Because there's a lot of opportunists out there. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. Is there a lot of opportunities out? Absolutely. There's a lot of people that are out there that are pure opportunists, right? However, guys, as a matter of fact, hold on. This is, I know you guys are hearing what I'm saying. Like, I know you are, but there's something I need to do right now. I need to plug this mic in and turn the mic. Hope you guys are still hearing what it is that I'm saying. right? But I'm speaking from experience because I've been there, right? I've been there, and I was kind of always the person that I really cared about the people that I was with. Like I really care. Like if I'm gonna take you on and decide, all right, cool, I want to be in a relationship with you, it's because I really care about you, right? But over time, I got to realize that hey, there's something about myself that I need to change. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me turn on this AC because if not, I'm gonna be sweating in a little bit. So give me 1 second. Hope you guys didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is probably too much information, but yeah, whenever I do these streams, whenever I do these streams, I don't necessarily always am fully clothed, right? But I do have on my underwear, so yeah, don't get any ideas. But yeah, where was I? Where was I? Anybody? Where was I? GTVR76. Hey, just got here. Asia says, laugh out loud. Okay. Yeah, I get real comfortable when I'm back here, to be completely honest with you guys. But yeah, I've been in situations before, guys. It's not just you. Like, if this is you, if you've been in situations like this, you're not by yourself. And when I say you're not by yourself, there's other people that are going through the same things that you're going through. And I feel like right now, when people approach relationships, it's like people are afraid to give their all, right? Because they've been through so much in the past. So because you've been through so much in the past and you still have that quote unquote muscle memory, you still remember the things that you've been through in the past, right? You tend to bring those things with you to the next relationship. So here you are in the next relationship with maybe potentially the person of your dreams, if not somebody that does have potential, and maybe you guys can grow together, right? But here you are bringing the past with you. The times when you were loyal to this person and they may not have been loyal to you. Why? Because you cared more about them than they cared about you. I'm just going to call it what it is. So now when you get to the point where you kind of wisen up, you start thinking to yourself, man, I really hate this MFer. Max says yapping sessions. Absolutely. DJ Scoot says, I hate the idea that society gives to relationship. Elaborate on that. Elaborate on that, DJ Scoot. Because I think right now, like at this point in time, right? I don't think relationships are traditional. We're not in traditional relationships. Mr. Max, how you doing, man? Hey, look at this guy. He's in here trolling already. Like I said, guys, if you're gonna troll, you better be funny, else you're just gonna get kicked. See you later. Bye, Max. Just like that, you got kicked. K9, how you doing? Somebody says blacks for Trump. Asia says, I believe that's the easiest thing to do in a relationship is to leave. Yes, it's the easiest thing. Because you know what, Asia? As human beings, we tend to want to take the path of least resistance. Right? I'm going to go over here because it's seemingly easier for me to run away than for me to stand up and really kind of, tough it out. And I think when people weren't already all the way in on this relationship, whatever the relationship is, if you're not already all the way in, then you're always going to be thinking to yourself, man, I should have stayed with such and such, right? Or I should go and try such and such. So you're not thinking about the other person that you're in a relationship with, right? But I'm going to tell you guys something. You see, because loyalty is such a scarce commodity in these days, right? You see, because everyone is not just, people aren't being as loyal as they once was. One, because of hurt, and two, because of how things are, right? So because people aren't being as loyal, whenever you do find somebody that's loyal, whenever you do find somebody that really cares about you, whenever you do find someone that you can build a foundation with, it's pivotal that you see where that goes. And I'm not going to say that people aren't one way a lot of times in the beginning of a relationship, and then as time progresses, they start to become somebody completely different. I've seen that time and time again. Kareem says, I need advice. Somebody says, Jesus, is that you? Oh, here we go with the trolling again. I am not Jesus. But big up yourselves anyway. Should I be all the way in? Her sister, says Kareem K. All right, that's a little bit funny, but your eyes are like scary, but I like can't take my eyes off it. Actually, my eyes probably are scary because you know what? I kind of washed my face right before I got on this stream because I actually was in the bathroom first and then I washed my face. So my eyes might be slightly red because maybe some soap got in my eyes. But yeah, apologies for that if I'm scaring anyone with my eyes. He said, where that's so real. Is he saying hair that's so real? I'm not entirely sure what it is that you're saying. Everyone that's in here right now, please like the video and subscribe as we approach 500 subscribers. Listen, we are on our way to 500 subscribers, and that's when we're going to start doing giveaways and such because I really want to give back. And DJ Scoot in Asia, you guys, trust me when I tell you guys, I got you guys so close to my heart. And DJ Scoot, man, you really matter. Damn, I think I got my answer, says Kareem. I don't know what it is that you're talking about. Maybe I should kind of have a session where after I do like the lives and I talk about what I want to talk about or what I would like to talk about, I just have a session where I read. But as time progresses and we get a little bit more organized, and that's what we will do. But DJ Scoot, always love reading DJ Scoot's comments. He says, well, it's either a one-night stand or you can cheat here and there, and we still love each other. That's how high school was for me. All my friends were either saying, on bro, I'm cool, I'm so cool, I just F this girl. I get it. I hear what it is that you're saying. And there is a school of thought, no pun intended, right? Because you did mention this is how you were living when you were in high school. But there is that sort of school of thought, man, where, especially a lot of times if you're a guy, right? It's like you're not taught to really have much affection. You know what I mean? I don't know how it is in other cultures, but especially with black men, especially with Jamaican men, it's like you're supposed to be a player. You're supposed to just go around, you know, having multiple women all the time here and here and there. And I'm not going to lie to you, right? There's been spurts of me kind of dibbling and dabbling. There's been points when, not too often, but I've been with women that I didn't really care much about. There's been points of that, right? Because it was something to do, I guess. And I guess when your hormones are raging and, you know, testosterone and this, that, and the third. But, you know, as time progresses and you get a little bit older, right? You get a little bit more experience. It's like you want something that you may have never had before. You want something different. You want something new. You want something more pure. So you start thinking to yourself, and maybe this is something that was already in the back of my mind since then as well, right? That you want to just lock in with someone, that you want to trust someone, that you want somebody that you could confide in and you know, express yourself to and be honest with and care about and love. But it seems as if again, due to the fact of how the current culture is, right? The collective culture is, not just in the United States, but right around the world. Based on that fact, And based on how people see, you see how easy it is for you to click on Instagram and you see somebody and they look so pretty, so gorgeous, they look so great on the outside, right? And then you start getting into this fantasy world. You start fantasizing about, oh, this person is perfect for me and this, that, and the third, right? And then come to find out, not only is this person not perfect for you, but that person, because of the times that we live in, may not even be who you think they are, if you get my drift. Right? Now, this is not me speaking from experience. Right? But they may not be who you think they are. And trust me when I tell you, it's getting more and more difficult, especially if you're somebody that just goes off the eyes, right? For me, personally, I like women that are feminine. I like women that are kind. I like women that are able to express themselves as feminine women. You understand what I'm saying? You could get whatever it is that you want, right? And a lot of times women fail to understand that, right? I'm going to give you a little cheat code. You see, when you're in your power is really in your feminine essence, right? When you're able to talk softly, when you're able, you ever hear the saying in the Bible, it says this, right? A soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words or something along those lines stir up anger, right? I will quote the Bible every now and then, even though I'm not religious, because there are some things in the Bible that you can absolutely, especially in Proverbs and Psalms, that you can actually apply to real life. But yeah, just the delicacy. That's where your power lies. Your power lies in your delicacy and your ability to make people open up their hearts, right? And open up to you. So you see, once women get back to that, when they start expressing themselves, right, as women, and once men start expressing themselves as men, I should say, right? When people start being who they were meant to be, right? That's when we're going to get to the point where we're going to start having relationships the way they were meant to be again. But in this current climate, people are so confused that they do not know who they are. Again, people are so confused that they do not know who they are. And to be fair, right, everybody has two parents, so, you're made up of both your mother's genes and your father's genes, right? But at the same time, there's certain things that are just not, how would I say this now? For men, right? There's certain things that are not masculine. Certain sort of behavioral traits are not masculine, to me, anyway, right? So in my personal opinion, a lot of times when I see dudes and they have sort of like a jealous aura about them, or they're envious about them, they have certain levels of envy about them. Like, that's something that I wouldn't classify as something that's masculine, right? Because you should be so focused on your purpose, you don't have time to be paying attention to another guy or what he's doing or pocket watching or any of that sort of stuff, because you're so focused on your life. That should be a foreign concept to men. But the way how things are these days, it's not a foreign concept to men. Again, this third dimensional thing, allowing the things that you see, right, send messages to your brain where you think, oh, because you see what that person's driving or you see the life that person's living, you want to almost live that person's life. When in actuality, your life is perfect just the way it is. I'm not going to say you have everything figured out just yet, but come into alignment with yourself, and I guarantee you the universe has something for you, or God, or whatever it is that you guys want to call it. And DJ Scoot said his ex was okay with that as well too. So back then we're talking about him kind of just having different women and stuff like that. Well, listen, if it's something where you speak to your partner and your partner is okay with it, but make sure they're really okay with it and they're not just saying that they're okay with it. If your partner's okay with it, then cool. But There has to be a level of just complete and utter openness when it comes to that, in that regard, right? Like, that's not something that you want to kind of hide from your partner. Like, hey, listen, such and such and such. You know, you want to kind of communicate that. You dig what I'm saying? Let me go through some of these comments. Josh Rogers says, I'm a skeleton. Well, Mr. Skeleton, did you subscribe to the channel yet, Mr. Skeleton? DJ Scoot says, my poor puppy is going through a nightmare. Give me a second. Go handle your puppy, man. That's your baby right there. She's been through too much trauma. Poor baby, he says. Yeah, man, go take care of that, buddy. Dude, totally skipped my comment. I'm sorry about that, Sally. What did you say? I'm going to go back to see what it is that you said. Sally said, Jesus, is that you? No, I did see that comment. No, I am not Jesus. Like I said, I am not Jesus. I did see that comment, though. I'm not. What is it? Is it the hair, right? The 2-strand twist and the beard? No, I am not Jesus. I am not. Shout outs to Jesus, though. Somebody says they have 0 sex. Sup, homie? How you been doing? I've been doing great. I've been doing phenomenal. You know, we're just talking about loyalty and, you know, just being careful who it is that you're loyal to. Be careful who it is that you're loyal to, guys. Be careful who it is that you're loyal to, because you can find yourself being in a relationship for years and not realize that the person that you're being loyal to is maybe that person's cheating on you, or maybe that person actually really doesn't like you and is waiting for an opportunity to just screw you over, right? Because I'm not going to say everybody's a cheater. I'm not going to say everybody has options like that, or everybody wants to have options like that. But they may just be a silent sleeper and be able to conceal what it is that they really feel, how they actually really feel about you, able to just conceal that. You know what I mean? So that's definitely something that you have to pay attention to, the intangibles. Again, you have to pay attention to red flags. Whenever you see a red flag, right? I'm not going to say you absolutely need to address it then and there, but if you see where you're starting to see some consistency with those red flags, right? You have to address it, and you have to see that that person's willing to change. And if that person's not willing to change that aspect of themselves, right? In order to you know, kind of keep the relationship, if they're making you uncomfortable and they're okay with making you uncomfortable, then you probably need to reconsider who it is that you're with. I'm telling you guys, it's probably not, look, I don't even want to say probably, to be completely honest with you. It's not going to get any better, right? That person's just going to keep overstepping the boundaries, overstepping lines, and continuously disrespecting you. Trust me when I tell you that. Asia, thank you so much for deleting a comment. I'm pretty sure that was a disrespectful comment. I didn't see it yet. But I'm going to go through a little bit more of these comments and see what it is that you guys have to say about this subject. I will be kind of glossing over things that don't really have much to do with what it is that we're saying, because sometimes we do tend to sidetrack a lot. But at some point later on in this video, we're going to, you know, get to know you guys and see what it is that you're saying, because we're not the biggest channel in the world now. But once we get to the point where we become a big channel and it's a lot of people commenting, we're not going to be able to do this. So we're going to take advantage of where it is that we are right now. And this channel is growing at a very rapid pace, right? First video was posted March 31st, right? And we're already at 266 subscribers. So big shout outs to everyone that's subscribing to the channel, and big shout outs to Asia and DJ Scoot, you know, for really just being such valued members of our community. Thank you guys. As Asia said just now, hello everyone. If you are new and you're enjoying this channel, please like and subscribe. Such a brilliant lady. I'm so glad she's on my team. She's such a brilliant lady. Kareem, you just instigating fights. Get that energy the F out of here. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. I didn't even see what they said, but thank you. I'm so worried about her right now. I think she was abused when she was born. He's talking about his dog, by the way, DJ Scoot. There is that possibility. There is that possibility. But DJ Scoot, it's wonderful, man, that you have this dog with you and you're taking care of this dog, man. You took this dog in as a part of your family. That's big of you. Shout outs to you, DJ Scoot. Shout outs to you. Red Hulk, Green Hulk says amen to that. On that note, when are you gonna transition into being Whoopi Goldberg? Whoopi Goldberg now. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to transition into Whoopi Goldberg. My dreads actually were a little thinner, but my hair wasn't meant to be thin. So I'm just gonna embrace the thickness, right, as it grows, how it's supposed to grow. So as you can see, my parts aren't as thin as they once were. So yeah, I don't know about that Whoopi Goldberg comment, but shout outs to Whoopi Goldberg, beautiful lady. Regardless of what you guys think, somebody thinks she's beautiful. Trust me when I tell you that. But isn't that exactly what you're doing? Talking about how other men aren't masculine because they are paying attention to other men. Okay, that's not what I said at all, right? I said jealousy. See, you're picking and choosing what it is that you want to hear. You didn't hear exactly what it is that I was talking about, right? So if you were paying attention, good sir, Mr. Fecal Finger, which is actually pretty disgusting, if I may say so myself. I said jealousy is not a masculine trait, right? That's what I said. And I stand by that. And I'm not going to say people don't have little hints and little drops of jealousy. But whenever you do see that creep up, that little bit of jealousy, right? It's your duty to extinguish that. Because you're a man, if you are a man, right? It's not a masculine trait. I'm just going to be completely honest with you and open with that, right? So, yeah, that's how I feel about jealousy, Mr. Fecal Finger. I feel disgusting even saying that. I'm sorry. But big ups to you anyway, man. But just clean your fingers, please. I'm going to work Monday as a woman so I can use the new women's toilet. Am I based? I think he's trying to say biased. I'm not entirely sure what to do with that or say about that. Hello, Sirag. How are you? Somebody, Saul, says, I am from Nepal. Hello, Saul. I'm pretty sure you're the first person from Nepal in here. So it would be wonderful if you subscribe to the channel. It'd be great to reach out to people in Nepal, and connect with them. Emily says, hi. Hello, Emily. How are you doing tonight? Saul Goodman says, you don't feel cringe talking about this superficial stuff? First world problems, thinking them masculine. No, actually, I don't feel cringe talking about, life and relationships. No, I don't feel cringe at all. But big up yourself, Saul. Big up yourself. And I would say great question, but it wasn't really that good. But it's okay, right? Not all people are bad, but 98% of people are going to FC you up if it benefits them. 98% maybe. But I think it depends on what degree. To what degree. Right? Because when you do look at, let's say for instance, like the job, right? When you do look at, the working environment, so to speak, right? If someone in higher up in the organization is targeting someone that's lower in the organization, right? Let's say 3-4 ranks below. And they're putting pressure on your superiors to get rid of you, then in order to sustain their job, 9 times out of 10 they are going to get rid of you. So you could be right about that. Although there are pockets of people who will stand up for you and will not budge. So yeah, you could be right, but maybe not 98%. It could be. I don't really have a figure of, I don't really know how I could figure that out. Kareem says, "Damn, bro, yaps a bit. Not gonna lie." Thank you, Kareem. I really appreciate that. Welcome to our podcast where people talk, because this is what people do on a podcast. Welcome. Thank you so much. Jimmy Migo says, "Spitting facts. Big up, Jimmy Migo. Spitting facts." Who the hell is Jimmy Migo? Oh, he's calling me Jimmy Migo. Okay, noisy boy. I don't know who Jimmy Meagle is. I do not know who Jimmy Meagle is. Bro is a constant yapper. Okay, so some of these, Saul, again with that. Saul, listen. Have a good night, Brody. Ain't nobody forcing you to be here, man. Take care of yourself. Yeah, this is a podcast. So, but bye-bye. Thank you for the trolls, though. I really do appreciate it. Bro, you inspired to do these mobile lives. I DM'd you on Facebook. He said, you inspired me. Oh, you inspired to do these mobile lives. I DM'd you on Facebook. You know what's crazy about the Facebook DLC? I don't often check my Facebook, if I'm being completely out. So, guys, if you don't know, I do have this podcasting community over there on Facebook. It has close to 5,000 members in that group, right? It was kind of started during COVID, and something kind of happened to really slow it down. Another person that I made an administrator kind of had a little error where they kind of made it more difficult for people to really see and enter the group. Otherwise, we'd probably be at like 10, 20K right now. It was growing so rapidly. But I kind of fell back because this is a show that I used to do called The Creative Angles. Well, I actually did one episode of the show where I just wanted to feature other members of the podcast so that people could kind of, and it was just like inspiring stuff, right? So that people could get a gist of what it is that other podcasters were doing in that group. So that was my way of kind of just giving back and making this something where it's like people are not just here to just share their stuff. So DLC, that's how we met. We met from that group, Podcasters Networking Management, hence PNMGM, right? Which was formerly known as two former names. But yeah, I haven't checked Facebook. I haven't checked the DMs or anything like that, but I will. I'm glad you said something just now because I haven't checked anything on Facebook in a while, so I definitely will do that. Kareem K, you just earned yourself a 24-hour timeout, mister, with your potty mouth. I think, I don't understand. All right, so my thing is this, right? I don't mind the troll. I don't mind the trolling. I don't mind the trolls. But it has to be funny, right? So if it's something that's not funny and I'm sort of just laughing to, I don't know, kind of just, I'm not really laughing, but I am, because I laugh a lot, right? Because I'm in an elevated vibration. But if you're going to troll, make it be funny. It has to be funny. Otherwise, why would you come to a show to listen to a podcast with a podcaster that's talking? Make it make sense. Ace says, W, Podnet MGM, I hope you have a great night and be successful one day. Have a good one, man. Keep the grind. Thank you so much, Ace Davids. You up, man. Listen, it don't stop. It will not stop. Sir, please consume, okay, all right. See, that's the type of troll I'm talking about. That's not funny, sir. You gotta be, if you're gonna troll and not be funny, not only are we gonna remove you from this channel, but yeah, we're gonna time you out. But yeah, guys, if you're going to troll, please be funny. Please make sure that it's something funny. Yeah, guys, but does anyone have any situations they want to share where they were loyal to someone and that person simply was not loyal to them in return? there's still some people here. So yeah, I would say. All right, so let me share a situation with you, and maybe this isn't necessarily disloyalty, but you know, all right. So the last relationship I was in, which wasn't a very long time ago, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably a few months, right? I wouldn't say a couple months, probably like 4 or 5 months or something like that. And it wasn't like a full blown relationship, but it was like we were heading toward that direction, right? And as two people sort of heading toward that direction, she had some qualities about herself that I really could appreciate, that I really could get with, that I really liked, right? So these qualities that I really liked, because I liked these qualities, I was willing to really just kind of extend myself to her. So on my way to work, right, like I would go to her house, she would have lunch ready for me, and you could tell she was just excited. She just wanted to be, you know, in my presence, and I was excited to be around her. I wanted to be in her presence as well. So that would be my excuse. So on my way to work, because I was working later on in the evening, well, at the time my schedule kind of fluctuated a lot, but whenever I was working later on in the evening, I would stop by her house, right? And, we would oftentimes like get Airbnbs like out of state, right? Like we'd go like out of state and get like an Airbnb or something like that. And, we'd always be hanging out in the car, you know what I mean? And just, doing what adults do in the car or in an Airbnb or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? But we never really spent the night at each other's house. But anyway, she traveled a lot for work, right? She traveled a lot for work. And if you live in the tri-state area and you travel a lot for work, you're taking airplanes, you're traveling, you're going out of the country, you're going to different states, quite frequently, you may need somebody to pick you up every now and then, right? So I didn't mind picking her up every now and then. But she would always have a contingency plan if I didn't pick her up. So one day, because I had seen her in such a short period of time before, right? So let's say she came back probably like the Sunday or something like that, right? I had seen her the Friday, right? But she had left the country and came back. And it's like she wanted to see me again. But for me, I'm like, hey, listen, well, I'm kind of building. I have something that I need to do right now. I got to kind of focus on this. So maybe we won't be able to link up right now. But at some point in the future, I'm going to come back, double back, and link up with you. Right? So at that point, when I told her no, that I wasn't going to link up with her, she started to show me a different side to herself that I'd never seen. Not gonna say I didn't know it was there, because I know everybody has like two sides, like different sides to them, right? But I didn't expect that to be the thing that kind of brought it out. You understand what I'm saying? So now she's really upset, guys. Like really upset. Almost hysterical. But it's like, when you're upset, but it's like you just don't want to talk, right? So she didn't really want to communicate about it, but she was upset, right? You could see her through the FaceTime that she was visibly upset, right? And then she didn't want to talk as much anymore, and this, that, and the third. And then she ended up throwing this tantrum. And I started looking at it like, well, isn't this something that we could have like really spoken about? Could we not have spoken more about this, right? As opposed to you throwing this tantrum and then kind of just showing me this part of yourself that I'm not really that comfortable with right now. Long story short, because I felt like she overreacted, I kind of started to pull back a little bit as well, right? Because I was kind of reading that she was pulling back some. So I decided, you know what? Let me go ahead and pull back a little bit as well. And it's quite a shame. It's really a shame, because she had a lot of really, really good qualities. A lot of qualities that I really admire. I won't sit up here and act like I'd known her for years or anything. But I could come to appreciate that this may have been something that we could have built. We could have built on a foundation. right? But, you know, she had her perspective. She may have had past traumas, past relationships where maybe somebody wasn't there for her or whatever it is. I don't know what to attribute it to. But she didn't have the patience, right? She didn't have the patience to kind of just tough it out a little bit. For I just saw you Friday. It's now like Sunday or something like that. It's okay for us to go a week without seeing each other, right? Like, we're adults. I'll see you next weekend. I don't have to see you Friday and then Sunday. Like, I also have things to do as well. So I can't just completely open up my schedule because we're not trillionaires, right? I can't just completely open up my schedule to you and cater to you whenever you do come into the city. And if you know about New York and the tri-state area, there's quite a bit of tolls around here, especially if you live around where the city is, especially if you're going to airports, whether it's Newark Airport, LaGuardia Airport, JFK Airport, a private airport. It does not matter. You have to go through a whole bunch of tolls and stuff like that. Well, not a whole bunch, but you have to go through tolls, right? And you got to pay for gas and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, she just didn't have that level of understanding. So when she pulled back, I pulled back as well. And then a lot of times what they'll do, because it's happened a few times. Like, women that I've been with, I can't say women in general, but this is something that they tend to do sometimes. They will tend to leave something, whether in your car or leave something in your presence, so whenever they do throw their tantrum, right, they'll have an excuse to call you back to say, hey, I left such and such there. Can you bring it over? Right? But that's not going to always work on every guy, ladies, so be mindful of that. So, be completely honest with you, I'll overnight it for you if you really need it, right? Because for me, I don't know, once I see certain red flags, especially early on in a relationship, I just know that eventually it just becomes something bigger, right? So it's really a shame because a lot could have been communicated. I could have understood her stance a little better, and I could have communicated how I felt and the reasons a little bit better. But because we didn't communicate anything, what could have been never was. And I'm okay with that. Asia says, I'm back. Sorry, Asia, big up yourself, love. I appreciate you and I appreciate everything you do for us. Thank you so much. DLC says, it's all love, bro. Just had to let you know. Yeah, man, I'm definitely going to check that out. DJ Scoot says, when my ex dumped me and said, I don't care if you kill yourself. Whoa. Yes. That's a little emotional. Don't internalize that when people say things like that to you, right? So that's something where people are just kind of just saying things based on emotion. Like, I've said things to people, maybe not to that extent, but I've said kind of mean-spirited things to people as well in my life, right? It doesn't happen as much anymore, but if I do want to express that aspect of myself, I don't know, man. Like, I find some music that I listen to with some cuss words in it or something like that. But I don't know. Like, I do tend to joke around and banter a lot, though, with people that do know me. So, I don't know. And because I don't take these things too personal, I expect other people not to take these things too personal as well. And I do have my core group of people that I'm able to joke with, and these people don't really take it personal. But yeah, I kind of, you can't do that with everybody, guys. So please take it from me. You can't joke with everyone. Richard Tatership says, Trump 2024. Big up yourself, man. Just vote for the right reasons. Down with, okay. My last name is Harris, okay? So, and my daughter's last name is Harris, and my father's last name is Harris, and my grandfather's last name is Harris. So please be respectful to that name, Harris. Please. Please. Right? Because for you to come in here and say chlamydia, Hyras, right? Like, what is that? That isn't, what, I'm, goodbye, Richard. That wasn't funny. If you're going to troll, be funny. but you don't have 10K to your name. But you don't have 10K to your name. Sean, big up yourself. You don't know anything about me, Sean. And if you want to believe that, that's okay. That's perfectly up to you. I may or may not. What difference does it make? So there you go, sir. Big up yourself. You know how long I've been waiting for this? Gambit, big up. I can't click my cards no more. Save me, Black Jesus. What is with this Black Jesus stuff that you guys are on today, man? Cut it out. Big up Jesus. I'm not Jesus. I can't listen. I'm me. I'm Onaje Harris, right? I am not Jesus Christ. Big up Jesus. I've learned a lot of things from Jesus. I've learned a lot of things from a lot of ascended masters. Some people may call them. Some people worship them. But yeah, Jesus was a great man. But I'm not Jesus. I'm me. Gambit, flick your bean instead. Asia says, don't be rude. She is absolutely right. Guys, I'm going to be around for another maybe 14, 15 minutes, right? Because I like when these things are just an hour long, right? It doesn't have to be anything more than an hour long. You know what I mean? DJ Scoot says, may God be with the trolls. If they're gonna troll, at least be a little bit funny. You know what I mean? It's not, you just don't just troll the troll, because they gotta be funny. Stella says not funny, and she's absolutely right. You know something, guys? That's a beautiful segue, right? Let's talk a little bit about the election and Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Right? Because there's been a few people, and since this is election season, why not talk about it, right? I mentioned this before. The American people are not voting for the person that they feel is the best leader. It's a popularity contest. It's the person who has the best press. Right? I don't think people really care about the direction of the country, if I'm completely honest with you. I don't think people really care. I think people kind of make things up in their head, right? About who they think is the best candidate. And all of a sudden that's true, and that has to be true for everyone else as well. This is why a lot of times people don't discuss politics. Because people are so passionate about it. And trust me personally, I've driven a politician, a big Republican politician somewhere before, right? He happened to be my neighbor at one point when I was living in a certain neighborhood that I will not mention, right? And at the time, I had a nice little 5 Series, right, at the time. And because this person comes from a political family, this person has brothers that are on the other side of the fence, right? Meaning Democrat. Anyway, what a lot of people don't know, these guys ain't enemies like you think they are. They're actually friends and family, a lot of them. They actually all know each other. So even though they might talk rudely to one another in the media, even though they may be intense when they're discussing policies, right? It doesn't mean they hate each other. So you don't have to go hating someone else because they have a certain political view that goes against what it is that you believe. You're being a dumbass at that point. And I don't curse very often on here, but you're being a dumbass at that point because you're not unable to really open up your mind and realize that everyone doesn't view the world the same way. And that's okay. It really is. Trust me when I tell you that. Do you believe that long distance relationships could work? That is a beautiful question, Asia. I think long distance relationships can work, right? If there's a level of trust there. If it was built on a foundation of trust, I do believe long distance relationships can work. Although, a lot of times with people, they allow the things that they want physically here and now to overshadow the bigger picture. And when I say overshadow the bigger picture, I mean, people may cheat with people they may not necessarily want to build a relationship or anything like that with, right? But because at this moment they're feeling horny or whatever it is, especially in this day and age, right? When it's so easy to get access to that stuff, right? People tend to just go with the flow. So, that being said, can long distance relationship work? Yes. But it has to be from two people who are not insecure at all, right? And two people who trust one another. The foundation has to be built on trust and love, right? And you guys have to communicate frequently, often. You guys have to treat each other with compassion, with love. You know, you got to talk to each other often. And you got to show each other love. But the foundation has to be love and trust. And honesty. And loyalty. But yeah, long distance relationships can work. Long distance relationships can work. But not forever. But it can work. Lettuce and ramen noodles says Trump or Kamala Harris. Whichever one you think is best. Tommy Savong says, I am Asian and I know she is not African. Alright, so Tommy. In case you didn't realize, black people come in all shapes and sizes. All shapes and sizes. Right? It's so take it from me. Again, my last name is Harris. My family comes from where Kamala Harris's family comes from, right? Jamaican. All of the Harrises I know in Jamaica are either black or European. Right? I've never met a Harris that was Indian. And I'm not saying Kamala Harris is not Indian, because she absolutely is mixed with Indian. But she's just that, mixed. Right? She's mixed. And it's okay, because guess what? Everybody's mixed with something. Is she African? Is she from Zimbabwe? No, she's not. But is she black? She's mixed, to say the very least. I'm not going to say she's just one thing, right? But she's mixed. And there's definitely black in there, right? So there's people who want to fool themselves to believe that her father was Indian. Her father may have been mixed with Indian. I'm not going to say no. But I don't know any Indian Harrises. And we come from where Kamala Harris's family comes from. And our last name is Harris as well. So take it from me, Mr. Harris, right? That last name is not synonymous with Indians, right? Big up to India, big up to Indians, big up to Asians. But guys, if that's your poor excuse of why you're not going to vote for Kamala Harris, that's an absolute disgraceful take, to be completely honest with you. But big up yourself. But he says he picks neither. I guess. Reagan Riggs says, hey man, how you doing, Reagan? Regan, I guess. Need to junk out of a girl and woman locker rooms though. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap this show up in the next 5 minutes or so. Maybe probably go like a little bit longer than that, maybe like 6 minutes. But yeah, I had a phenomenal show with you guys, and I think you guys are absolutely awesome. Asia, I thank you so much. DJ Scoot, who probably went to go take care of his baby, his dog. Big up yourself, thank you. DLC, big up to yourself as well. Who somebody says Trump. I guess why can't she said that she are for all races. Why not? I mean, if you're the president of the United States, to be completely honest with you, you have to be for all races. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. And as a matter of fact, race is really just a social construct. Everyone, as a wise man once said, everyone is just different shades of wheat, right? But even deeper than that, we are just spiritual beings having this third dimensional human experience. So, it gets pretty deep. It gets pretty deep, guys. But again, as a president, you can't just be biased and say you're for this one race or this one group of people or this one gender. No, you have to be for all people that are in your country. I'm sorry. There's no other way, right? So yeah. David Wilson says, "Hey, brother, how you doing, David? Big up yourself, brother." And he says, "There is only one race, human race." Big up yourself, David. And Asia says, "Hello, everyone. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and like." Man, Asia, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Yeah, guys, but that's just one of those things. Yeah, just be mindful of that. Yes, I am a black man, right? The majority of my bloodline is black, right? But there's also other things in there as well, right? I'm certain of that. I know how my grandfather looked, and there is some Cuban as well on my mom's side, but you do also have Afro-Cubans, and Cubans are also mixed as well, for the most part. But yeah, guys, we are all just human beings, and yeah, that's it. Tommy Savong says she cannot pick a race to pick for your political ambition. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she can't just pick one race and say, "All right, cool, I'm for this race." Like, you see how that would just divide everybody else and make everybody like, "Well, what about us? We live here too. Like, we're from here too, right?" And you don't want to divide. You don't want to be divisive, right? As a political figure, as a president, as the president, for me, I believe with all my heart that you should be wanting to unite people, unite the people of your country, unite the people in the world, and get people to work well together. I think that's one of the key components of being a president, of being any type of leader, is to get people to agree and work together. And whoever does that best is the best leader. So I believe in giving people a chance. Trump had a chance. I'm not gonna say I'm against Trump winning. I'm against any of these guys winning, but I think, I think the American people should be open to the other option as well. Don't just be one dimensional and just be one sided with it. You know what I mean? DBL says tap that screen. Not entirely sure what that means. Tommy Sayavong says, but she is not. Well, Tommy, I don't know. I don't know if she is or if she isn't. I don't know her personally. All I know is what they write about her in the media. And I think a lot of times people get an unfair shake if the media is biased against them. And I think at this point in time, Trump definitely runs the media. Trump is definitely the more experienced politician, the more experienced public figure, and he has the most experience out of the two. So I do think that people are kind of looking into that, not because he has more experience as a leader, because some may have their somewhat of a negative take on that. Some may not like his leadership, and other people may have loved his leadership, right? But yeah, there's that. GrowTube says facts. GrowTube facts. Hindi says say it. Big up yourself, GrowTube. Everyone, if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to the channel as we are on our way to 500 subscribers and then 1,000. And we're going to be doing a lot of really cool things once we hit the 500 subscriber mark. I promise you that. There are a lot of people that are in this group and in this chat, in this community, that I really want to reward for their loyalty and their help. Yeah, guys. Somebody just said it's never good to be only one-sided. However, it's important to pick a side eventually. Yeah. The American citizens, the citizens of the world. I don't think we have to be that divided, if I'm completely honest with you. Yes, Asia, we should start doing polls. You're absolutely right about that. So yeah, I'm gonna look into that, and I hope everyone has a magnificent night. And Mr. GrowTube says it's my fact channel. Big up yourself, Mr. GrowTube. Big up everyone. Please remember to keep your frequency and your vibration high. Someone else just sent in the chat. Hold on. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna read that one. But have a have a great night. Have a great evening. Have a great morning wherever you are in the world. And continue to say some kind things to yourself. Elevate your frequency, elevate your vibration, and if you ever get sidetracked and knocked off, get yourself back into balance, guys. Yeah, none but ourselves can do that. None but ourselves can free our minds, like Bob Marley said. Big up yourself. GrowTube says love from India. Big up to India. Big up to the massive. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, guys. Take care.